So they've talked about the tonal and the nagual, which was really important, to distinguish these two different dimensions that exist, and that we move between these dimensions of depth of soul and tonal in our more logical, social realm. Completely different dimensions. Not only are they different dimensions, what makes a different dimension, they have a completely different time zone as well, which is going to sound pretty bizarre, but it's like a time warp thing that goes on. Because when we go down into our deep self, our nagual self, and we really go deep, and let's say we spend an hour by candlelight, maybe even in conversation with ourselves. Please check out the video on talking to ourselves. That's such time so well spent, righting our wrongs, sorting ourselves out, organising ourselves, setting things up for ourselves in a healthy way, talking things through. But there's a massive dimension time shift that goes on in these different zones that we inhabit. So, for example, when we're watching television and let's say we're really in tune with exactly what's going on, the story, the narrative, the plot, the feelings, we're really engaged in the whole thing in that tonal visual world, we will look at our watch and 2 hours may have gone past and we're quite, oh my God, where did the time go? It's just disappeared, literally. We've been engaged almost in the same pleasures, let's say stimulating pleasures, repetitious pleasures, nice feelings going round and round and round, round. So in a sense, there's been the sameness has gone on again and again and again. When we go into our soul part and nagual part, we almost walk into, we go from days to hours to half an hours to minutes to seconds, deeper, deeper, deeper. We go to the milliseconds because we're so present, and that's why it's a dimensional thing. It's difficult to talk about, but it acts itself out in reality. Because we've gone that deep into this dimension, the milliseconds are existing for us. We're living within all the milliseconds. It's a bit like the movement of Earth when it was discovered that the speed of the Earth changes according to the distance. It's this dimensional thing that's going on that's very real. And so we're living, it really kind of sort of rubs out the idea of fixed time, really. When we start seeing things in terms of energy and in terms of dimension, we lose that sense of fixed time. Time no longer fixes itself quite the same way. Time no longer sits in reality quite the same way. And so let's say we're living absolutely in that present moment. Within ourselves, we're living in that present moment of milliseconds. When we're having discussions with ourselves, what's happening in our day-to-day, how our children are feeling, we're in those absolute milliseconds with our children. We're really there. It's almost the most amount of time that we have is in that creative place. And almost in a sense, the least amount of time that we have is in that tonal area. So what does that mean, really? Well, it means in terms of productivity, for example, if we really want to get things done. We don't want to be only watching TV, for one thing. If we want to be productive, we're going to lose so much productivity by disappearing into that tonal time zone. It's a kind of disappearance. And coming down is a reappearance of self. And therefore the time literally slows. Yeah, it's kind of a backwards way of seeing it, a wacky way of seeing it, but actually it just completely makes sense. Logically it makes sense as well, because we have massive amounts. The day is huge when we are in this Nagwal place. It's immense. And the day becomes tiny when we literally, we don't know where the day has gone. If we're in that place, then we only need to look at all those social, tonal, we know we're in that dimension, literally the day has just disappeared. TV, social, it's just disappeared in these pockets. It's just gone. It's just gone. We just don't have enough time in the day to do this, that, and we can never get round to that job that needs doing. Never. So if we discard these time munching things, that social media, the stuff we don't need to do, we don't really need to do, like watching TV all hours or whatever, or at all necessarily. If we were to stop, just try stopping watching TV for a couple of days. The time munching that it does is unbelievable. And of course, it's not just because we stay in that tonal dimension even after we've finished watching the program, because we're still ruminating. We're still thinking about the feelings and the thoughts and the story and the plot. We're still engaged in that tonal energy area. We're still there. We're still staying in that area. Same with social media. We're still remaining in that area. We're not leaving it. We're still remaining in that area and chatting about it almost. Chat, backwards, forth. I wonder if I'd said that, or if I'd said that, would that have been better? Could I have reworded that better? Oh, I'm quite happy with... See, we're still engaging in that dimension. We're still there. And that's the time munching area. And you look at, and really a week will go by. And it will have done. So there's a kind of a time warp thing. We've obviously got this tonal thing of time that is absolutely regular. Is it? So don't watch TV for 2 days. It will be like you've got way too much time. But of course, there's never too much. There's never such a thing as way too much time. There's all those little jobs and that we really wanted to do and never got round to doing. And my God, it will make us so happy and feel really, really boosted and feel a lot of self-love if we really do those jobs. We will feel so great, and so we've not only stopped leaking by being in that realm, we've come into a deeper realm, a self-love realm. We stopped leaking our diamond energy and we started doing productive things to enrich and make our life more happier. Which is all about self-love and expanding our value. And so it's really, from my point of view, in terms of being creative is joy. It is joy. That's the part of the joy that's the part that we love truly creating. It's that place of belonging that we just adore. It's a wonderful place. And we might be we might be an engineer, we might be in business or creating our business. These nuts and bolts areas of creating is where the joy is, actually. Creating something new, trying a new pattern out, being playful. This is where, as children, we all played. We all enjoyed playing. This is where the joy is for us. It's the great source of joy. And so to have time as well as this playful joy is kind of like doubling the happiness, really. You don't want half a day or a quarter of a day to exist. You want one day to be like 10 days. And that's what will start to happen. If you want more creative time, You have to make it happen. So you have to switch off the non-essential stuff, because that is causing a time warp, and you will have massive amounts of time. And so therefore, you will be prolific. Be like, oh, how do you create all of that stuff? What did you, so all of this remaining on this other outer dimension is denying us the time to be prolific and to keep on in that wonderful creative zone that gives us so much happiness, and then also to create things in our life that come from self-love. All those little jobs, all those things that we wanted to do, we never dropped that off, we never said that to that person, we can tidy all this up for ourselves, and it matters. It really truly enriches our life and makes us feel better. If we look around our house, just as an example, and there's 10 jobs that we've never got round to doing, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how you get those jobs done, half a day. If you have half a day and everything's switched off, you'll be amazed. And it's not just the switching off, it's the allowing oneself to be within oneself and be in that creative dimension, allowing ourselves to go there, and not keeping ourselves sort of constantly in this half-breathing area. We don't really live and breathe deeply and fulfillingly in that tonal area. It's a great place sometimes. It's incredibly stimulating and life-giving, yes. And, it's full of information and knowledge and intelligence, yes, of course. But it's not a place to... it depends on your nature to a greater or lesser extent. It might be, obviously if you work in media and this kind of thing, it may be sort of 9/10 of your life, that might be, but always having this place to go to is so, you have to meet your true self to be joyful. If you've got joyful bits missing, it's about a missing being with yourself. We can't do constant fitting into human shape. Ooh, bang, 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 bang. We are energy first. Therefore, it won't give us that constant satisfaction all the time and happiness. We're not truly human beings. We are energy first. So that's what they wanted to talk about. There's this genuine time warp that goes on also between, but there would be between different dimensions. There's going to be a time warp. There's going to be time delay, a difference in timing, and it's a reality. We have to open our minds to that. Obviously the tonal construct everything to work within the material world. Clocks, incredible inventions, watches, clocks, keeping perfect time. Yes, of course. But we will have that, what should have felt like 1 minute when we go into a different dimension. Wow. That's felt like 4 hours. Well, it has, because you've expanded into that dimension. Yeah, it's a tricky one to explain, that one, of course. But it's so worth taking on board, because, we want to create so much for ourselves, so much good things in our life. And we want to give ourselves the tools to be able to do that. And switching off a lot of things that automatically zoom us into that tonal world where time is just munched away into nothing, like a sort of tasty snack, like crisps, gone. You look at the bowl and it's gone. Well, who ate them? Where did they go? You don't even remember eating them. That's the kind of time dimensional thing that we've got going on between these two different dimensions. Because in terms of dimensions, they're a very long distance apart, And just like the movement of the planet, when something's that far distant, it does change time. It does warp the timings, you know.